All right, so I know I posted a video already today, but you're getting a two for today because my inbox blew up with people asking me about this article on the Dave Ramsey website about FIRE. I'm super excited about it because I'm a big Dave Ramsey supporter, and I've done videos about how the FIRE movement community needs to kind of play nicely more with the Dave Ramsey followers. So yeah, I'm like, I got to read this. And I figured I would read it with you guys and you guys can get my reaction from it. I will say I'm a little skeptical. I don't know. Let's just dive in. I'll tell you why I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical because there's just certain things about the FIRE movement that I don't think that website can promote at all. Like credit cards and things like that. So I'm kind of praying that it's not an opportunity for the Dave Ramsey people to plug FIRE with investing as just a motion to try and get them to use their Smart Investor Pros. I don't want to sound too skeptical. So let's read the article. Let's see what we got going on here. All right. So all I did was I just Googled Dave Ramsey FIRE. Love seeing Kelly and JJ come up first search. My people. Good for you guys right there. But here it is. What is FIRE? So let's click in and see. Like I said, first time going through with you guys. We'll see what happens. Okay. Right off the bat, we look at the bottom of the screen and we see find the right financial advisor for you, which is okay. That's going to happen in any blog that you're going to read. That's not a big deal. But what is FIRE? All right, here we go. It's on the Dave Ramsey website. Let's go. And we see right here, it is by Chris Hogan, which is one of his personalities. I like Chris Hogan. I've read his book. I've got to shake his hand. Good dude for him. So I don't know if we could say this is really Dave Ramsey's advice, but we'll go on. So you've heard me say a million times that retirement is an age, it's a financial number. That is true. We don't have to retire at 65. I've talked to many folks. Why does he always call people folks? Is that a down south thing? You have to let me know. Do people call people folks? Up here in New York, we do not call people folks. They're on a blazing new path towards blazing. I see what you did there with FIRE. As part of the FIRE community, I believe it's possible to retire in their 30s and their 40s. He also says there, but there's a new wave of younger workers. I don't like how people, not just Dave Ramsey, classify FIRE with the millennial movement. And it's not, all the people that I know that have reached FI are older. The movement was started by people in their 30s and their 40s, and guys, this is not a millennial movement. If you're in your 30s and 40s, I'm in 37 years old. I just started, 37. I'm right on the cusp of Gen X and millennial, but it's not for just younger people. Can retire in their 30s and 40s. Well, you just said just a second ago that you don't have to wait till you're 65. So it seems right. Let's take a closer look at FIRE, see how people are doing it, and find out whether it's right for you. I mean, when would it not be right for you? I mean, we're going to try and retire early. Isn't that awesome? FIRE talks about what it stands for. Great, very generic information you can get on the internet. Save between 50 and 75% of their income so you can retire sometime in your 30s and 40s. That's right. You need to save at least half your income. It's not that. I mean, when I was doing the baby steps, if we talked about what I was putting towards debt, between my debt and savings, that was 50% of my. It's not that hard. Why do people talk about 50%? And it's one of the gripes that I've had with Dave Ramsey with the 15% thing, which I'm sure he's going to touch upon here. But because 50% of your income is not hard. 70 is hard. That's extreme, depending on how much money you make and things like that. But 50% of your income is very, very doable. I'm telling you from personal experience. How do people do it? In order to be able to sock away that much money towards invested, folks who are looking at two things: keeping their expenses extremely low and to raise their income. I think to save half, you definitely want to lower your expenses, but you don't have to raise my income's been pretty, I don't know, the income thing. Granted, I think if you have more income, you can reach it quicker, but that doesn't change your savings rate per se. Right? You still have to save. And I've done a video about this, looking at the difference between spending and saving. So we'll see if he touches more upon that. Financial independence doesn't mean sitting on a tropical beach. I've never heard anybody say that before. It means reaching a point where you don't have to have a full-time working job. You can scale back to a part-time job, simply stop altogether. The choice is yours. Great last sentence there. Guys, FIRE is all about choices. It has nothing to do with retirement. It has nothing to do with money. It has to do with giving you choices, and I think Chris nailed it right here. Good, Chris. It's all about choices. What can we learn from the FIRE movement? He has some mixed feelings. Ooh, here we go, mixed feelings. On one hand, I appreciate the focus and intensity these people have towards reaching their retirement dreams. No matter where you are on your financial journey, there are some key lessons to take away from the FIRE movement. Here we go. Start dreaming and planning for retirement. I think I like most about FIRE is that it's getting younger workers to start thinking about retirement. The amount of people I talk to that are like, dude, I'm learning so much. I didn't know. I never would have thought to do this. But so that's good. He's right. Especially since, okay, so he's going to go into some more stats. I like trying to aim for a target. It's like trying to aim for a target with a blindfold on. Okay. Defining what you want from your retirement to look like making plan. It puts you in the game. All right. I'm all for that. Okay. So he's saying FIRE's good. It makes people want to retire. Finding ways to keep your expenses low. They take the time to look where their money's going. Great. And it's true because a lot of people from FIRE came from this Dave Ramsey background of like focusing on spending and focusing on income and things like that. So I don't think it's that far-fetched to see these overlying aspects. Ways to boost your income. Dave has said a number of times, get out there, get a second job, deliver pizzas. So, but this doesn't just have to happen to get out of debt. This can happen to boost your path to financial independence and get you there quicker. There's no way around it. If you want to retire or really early in the case, that means getting creative and finding ways to find some extra cash, okay? Maybe you're on a career path that will lead you to a job with a six-figure salary. Once you get that side hustle, okay, great. Whatever it looks like, additional income will play a huge role. It definitely will. The more income you have, the easier it is to save a lot of money. But I don't think you don't need to have a large income. If you read his book talks about, that very, very few millionaires had a six-figure salary. I read that in his book. So I hope he says something about that because it's true. You do not need a lot of money to be financially independent. In fact, the less money you live on, the less money you need to save. So the lower your income needs to be. Make savings and investing a priority. Yes, that is definitely true. If you want to retire early, you have to save and invest because we're going to be living off investments. So that's true. That's why the folks in FIRE are radical about throwing huge chunks of their income towards their retirement. Maybe 50 sounds like too much right now. That's okay. We start somewhere. We recommend starting with 15%. It's this 15% in baby step 3. That's definitely been a debate. And I think he makes a good point. I don't like how he's saying that 50 is hard to achieve. So there's that. And I don't love how he goes back and defaults to this 15%. Guys, 15% is not a lot of money. You save 15%, you're going to be working into your 60s. I wish he would have said or made that number a little bit higher once we got debt. Like start with 40. Go up 2% a year like a lot of people in the FI space say. Like you don't have to jump to 50, but try every couple months or every quarter to raise that up by 2%. Raise your savings 2% every quarter. Then you're talking 8 to 10% a year. You can find that balance relatively quickly. But starting at 15%, I feel like that's just an excuse to not save dramatically. I think that Dave Ramsey and here Chris Hogan, they need to look at their gazelle intense paying off debt and flip that onto gazelle intense save money for retirement. Why FIRE movement may not be for everyone. Ooh, I want to know why it may not be for me. Now, here's the first barrier to the following the FIRE movement. You need a large enough income. We just talked about it. Guys, go read Mr. Money Mustache. He talks about how the less money you need to live, the less money you need to save. Because your financial independence number, which I'm going to do a video about, is based upon how much money you need to live. You don't need a large income. You don't. I think that's a myth. I think he's kind of like saying we need to make sure that we keep our people with the 15%. There you go. He plugs his book. Okay. Oh, yeah, he does say that 1/3 of millionaires never had a six-figure income. That it's true. Like, you don't need a big income. Don't mess with credit cards. Here it is. You're going to get burned. Once again, a nice little burned fire. I like that. We've talked at length about credit cards. I've done videos. You know, I just started experimenting. I know what he's going to say here. You know, it makes you spend more. It makes you do things. But I think by him saying this is, I don't think he has faith in the discipline of the American public. And granted, yes, statistics show that we shouldn't have any discipline, but I don't think it's discipline that we lack. I think it's information and knowledge. If we're given information, we can be a very disciplined people. So I hate when he's like, credit cards are bad, credit cards are bad, credit cards are bad. You're saying like I'm a child and like you're my dad and you're telling me what I can and cannot do, but you don't tell me why. You don't give me the pros and cons and let me make my own choice. So I'm just going to skip through the credit card point. Credit card. You don't have to do FIRE just to escape the job. I don't think anybody in FIRE says that you have to quit your job. Like I said, it goes back to these choices. You might be drawn to FIRE because you hate your job. I don't think anybody is. I think people are drawn to FIRE, the people that I've talked to, because they want to better their situation, you know? Talks to Ken Coleman, once again, plug in more of his people, the roadmap. So here's where it gets a little bit, you know, Dave Ramsey, and I feared that it was going to be a little bit of a plug for his website, but that's okay. That's what his website's for, right? To plug his information. It got us to read this information, but like I said, I've read his book. I've done it. It's great. I'm for Dave Ramsey. So then he goes back to his regular roadmap, a little spin off Dave's baby steps, get out of debt, finish your emergency fund. True. Invest 15%. Invest as much as you, let's change that. Invest as much as you can into your tax advantage retirement accounts. Go for it. Save for college. I've talked about college and saving for my son and my daughter. I'm just building wealth, and then my wealth is going to help save for college. Beyond 15%, max out. Okay, so he does say, like, after you're saving for college, this is new to me. I've never heard them say, you know, like, go invest beyond 15%. I've never heard that. Maybe I've missed it, but good for them. That's a step in the right direction for the whole Dave Ramsey platform. So step 5 is building a bridge account. If you want to retire early, the bridge account will help you bridge the gap when you want to retire and when you could take the money out of your retirement accounts. Yes! Because we know that we can't touch our retirement accounts, so we're 59 and a half. So we're going to increase savings in things like high yield savings accounts and Roth IRAs because we could take our contributions out. Awesome. Have they been talking about bridge accounts? Let me know, please, because I've never heard them use that term before, and that's exciting stuff. That's awesome. The big drawback on these investors, you pay taxes on the money you want. Okay, guys, we're going to have to pay taxes, right? Taxes are a part of life. You're going to pay taxes. That's it. Work with an investing pro. There are a lot of moving parts to retiring early, but it is possible. But under zero circumstance can you do it on your own. So make sure you call one of Dave Ramsey's Vestor Pros, Smart Vestor Pros. He had to plug it. He had to, but I'm going to leave you with this. I'm okay with them plugging their network. I mean, we know that Dave Ramsey Solutions is now a brand, right? General information that he's giving people so that you buy his books, take his courses, go to do his certain things, go to his events, use his, like, he's a brand. All right, let's put it out there. He wants to make money off people. He definitely helps. He helped me. But, you know, to end it with this, call our, that's literally the last thing he says. Find your Smart Vestor Pro today. Kind of was thinking that that's what he was going to do, that he was going to use this as an opportunity to tie FIRE in with investing. But then it talks a little bit about Chris. Like I said, his book, Everyday Millionaire, is a good book. I did a review. I'll leave it linked below if you want to hear my full opinion about that book. And it was a while ago. So I think Dave Ramsey has to start talking more about FIRE and incorporating it into his life and into his teachings, because I think that's where this movement of personal finance is going. You know, just to recap, I don't love that he uses the word folks when he talks about people. I don't like that he knocks that you had, like, saving 50% of your income is hard. This week I'm going to be posting my savings rate, guys. I'm not even good at this game, and I live in New York, a very expensive state, and my savings rate far exceeds 50%. So you can definitely get yours up there. Great points here. Start dreaming. Find ways to keep your expenses low. That's the name of the game. But forget about expenses. Think more savings. We want to get our expenses low so we can save more. We don't want to get our expenses low so that we can live a life deprived, right? We don't want deprivation in our life. We keep our expenses low not to spend money, but we keep our expenses low so that we can save more. That's really an overlying theme that I feel like he never really says. He tells us that we need to stop spending to get out of debt, but he doesn't tell us the real emotional reasons of why we want to spend less. And it's very simple in nature. We want to spend less so that we can save more. Look for ways to boost your income. I mean, that's a no-brainer. No, there's nobody sitting on the couch right now saying, you know what, I don't need to make any more money. I mean, maybe there's people out there like that, but nobody's saying like, side hustle, terrible idea. Definitely don't want to boost my income at all. Saving, investing is a priority. Like I said, why it may not be for everyone, I have to disagree with this. It's for everyone, regardless of your income. If you think your income is too low, go back up. Boost your income, right? Raise your shovel, as he says. Make your shovel a little bit bigger. Not only just to get out of debt, but then after debt, right? That disconnect of after you're done with baby step 2, Dave doesn't really tell you, he's a little vague. But if you think that your income is too low, boost it, you know? Don't mess with credit cards once again. I think I'm disciplined enough. I'm a grown-ass man. I think I should be able to say, no, I will not hold a balance on my credit card. No, I will only use it for things that automatically are going to be taken out anyway. Yes, I do not know where that card is. I look at my last video. I'm for it, but I wasn't always. If you're getting out of debt and you struggle with money, cut up your credit cards. So there's but he could say that. He can say, guys, credit cards are crappy things. They destroy a lot of people. But let's figure out a way that maybe we can start to incorporate them into our lives to make a life a little bit better. Don't just do FIRE to escape your day job, right? You're not doing FIRE to escape your day job. You're doing FIRE to give you the opportunity to make the choices that are going to give you and your family a better life. And don't worry about their SmartVestor Pros. Come on the internet, YouTube University. We're here, we'll help you. It's not legal advice necessarily, but at least we can give you the opportunities to go ask the people that you trust in your community. I'll leave a video about FIRE and my whole perspective on it right here. Down here, I'll leave a review to Chris Hogan's book so you can check out my thoughts on that. If you're new here, you can click right here. Consider subscribing. I would love to have you. And until I see you on the next one, guys, stay positive, work really, really hard, always be kind to others. I hope you have yourself an amazing day and a better tomorrow.